What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let me do it like Peter McKinnon. How are you guys? I hope you're having yourself a great time, and it's been a long time. I cannot even remember when I was last here, but hey, here I am. My name is Ronald Sima, for those of you who've not been here before, and welcome back again. Oh my god, it's been a roller coaster from lockdown 1, lockdown 2, 43 days. Wow. Other countries are still actually falling into lockdowns. Belarus, one of the countries in the Scandinavia. We're really feeling sorry for you, and this whole thing is just a horrible thing. And my name is Ronald Sima, and thank you for viewing. And the channel is growing. When I say the channel is growing and people see only 100 subscribers, 104 subscribers, they always say, what is he even talking about when people have K's of subscribers? These are organic, my friend, and I'm in Africa, and I'm just a small vlogger that talks about really very sensitive things. It's up to you guys to make sure that maybe you view my content and find sense in what I'm talking about, and then maybe you can give it that big viewership. But if you do not find sense in what I'm talking about, how is it gonna grow? But as far as what I can see or what I have here, this is what I have, and it is what it is, and it's organic, by the way. It's very organic. I'll be right back, and what I'm gonna be talking about is nothing but one of those things that have been so much been affected by the world over, and that has been education. And it has really opened up so many people's eyes and ears. But after this, alright, so let's talk about education. Let's talk about school. Who still remembers the first day they went to school? I still remember my first day at school, and daddy folding a small tissue paper and putting it into my little pockets and telling me, go and study and become a doctor. Little did he know that I was so bad when it comes to chemistry, biology and mathematics. He didn't know about that. So I ended up doing media work and being a journalist, being a radio host, being a TV host, and being a producer, being a cinematographer. Here I am. Education is what we're talking about. So this whole COVID thing, to some people, is an eye-opener, especially like me. I've got to learn that I was not weird. I was just ahead of my society by a couple of years. I've come to realize that so many things have not been happening because I'm not really a lazy person or not a good person, but because that time had just not yet come. I've got to think harder and smarter. I've come to realize that anything is possible under the sun, right? And I think same applies to so many other people. So when it comes to education, why do we go to school? What's that fundamental reason why we go to school? According to me, education is you going and getting a skill which you trade. A skill that you trade for money. So if you go and get that skill, you should be able to just not trade actually that skill, but also be able to start up a service provision. And it just does not stop at you just being an educated person or having a skill. You also have to have the capability to start up a business or a venture that some other people are going to come and they will have to trade a skill from you. For instance, you go to college to learn education and learn how to teach. either professor, either high school teacher, kindergarten teacher, whatever it is. You go to school to get a skill, which in turn you're going to go to a place, a school, and you will say, I need a job here. I need to teach these young people, these children, these students. I need to teach. So you are trading that skill. But do you realize that the people of this day and age do not think about that? All they think is take the kid to school. Are they getting a skill? I don't know. Are they not getting themselves a skill? I don't know. What is that skill particularly they are getting? I'm not sure. And that's when it came to my understanding that people actually don't take children to school. People take children to school in order to create time for themselves. Because if you took children to school to really learn and get skills, you would be caring what skills are they getting and how are they effective at those skills. So, someone goes to school to learn how to do a skill, and they only can survive with that skill only if they can go and beg for a job or find a job or look for a job or sustain a job. They're not given the capability to be able to start up a job with the skill they have. Now recently, oh God, these kids are so loud. Now recently I came to realize that our curriculum started teaching entrepreneurship. But in our entrepreneurship skills, they use books, textbooks, a learning aid from Britain, America, Mexico, and other places. They never look at the skills or entrepreneurship skills in the place they live. Some countries like mine, people have been deprived a minimum wage. People cannot easily get housing. People cannot easily get things on credit. We are fully cash economy. Very little. I think it's just 1% or maybe 5% trying to integrate to the cashless economy. But it's all liquid cash economy. Now, you have to impart entrepreneurship skills according to the environment you are in. But when you go to the book and start teaching people entrepreneurship skills, or people living in New York who have a minimum wage, people living in London who have a minimum wage, and people living in France who have been given a minimum wage, where almost everything is catered for and planned for, then you have a big problem. These people are just going to have a thought that they studied entrepreneurship, learn all their entrepreneurship using the examples of the French, the American, the British, and all the Canadians, Germans, and they cannot practically start up a startup in their country. So this is not actually to the West. This vlog is not particularly to the West, because I mean, your entrepreneurship skills really match where you are seated, and they're integrated to that kind of environment. But this is particularly for Africans. Entrepreneurship for Africans. Learn. We use used cars. We don't use brand new cars. How do you get up and start teaching us entrepreneurship skills of people who use brand new cars, 0 mileage, cell phones? The people in the West buy contracts, buy minutes. We go to the telecom company, buy a SIM card, and then go to a phone selling handsets and buy a handset, and then see how best to work on how you're going to be getting credit for your data, SMSs, and voice calls. So, how are you going to tell me that these things are in sync? So, you teachers, especially African teachers, COVID should teach you Politicians, if you have been claiming that our education system runs on the precedence of colonialism, this is a time that you actually had to send children home, children to be at home and figure out stuff. It will be a big shame when you've been having this sabbatical, if I may call it that way, and people still come back to the same dumb colonial imperialist ways of teaching people on how education is supposed to be. If you have a skill and you cannot trade that skill, you wasted time in school. You're rather an extravagant person, if I'm using the right word. Or you're too dumb. You should be able to trade your skill. And just not trade your skill, be able to start up a business with your skill. Learn how to start looking at business in your skill, business in your passion, business in what you love. Because we wake up every morning to make that extra dime, that extra money. So my friend, I hope this is gonna help you, my fellow Africans. It's been a great pleasure hosting you all. My name is Ronald Sima. I would love to thank Joseph Arens, who's been doing great music during this whole time of lockdown. He's produced great albums for great musicians that I shall not mention. I've got a glimpse into Kenneth Mugabe's album. It's awesome, guys. You should watch this album. I'm going to try and put the YouTube channel down in the description below. Don't you forget to, no, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. Please watch this content if it makes sense to you. If it does not make sense to you, just scroll and go to the next thing. I'm Ronald Sima. Stick around. Till next time.